Gervonta Davis remained undefeated over the weekend with a unanimous decision win over Cruz for the WBA regular lightweight title. But while Davis's mentor and promoter Floyd Mayweather was confident of his fighter's win, he clearly wasn't impressed.
What's meant to be in life is meant to be. And Cruz, and as far as what Cruz would take, he know he didn't win. No, he didn't win at all. And if Tank really would have lost the fight, I would have said he lost.
The undefeated Tank has been looking for a big money fight, and the late replacement Cruz was seen as a stepping stone for that. As such, Davis seemed to believe anything else was an impossibility. Meanwhile, Cruz just believed in himself.
I can't say what I'm gonna do to him or anything like that till I get in the ring with him, so you just gotta wait and see what he bring that night, and then, it's different when people get, hit in the face.
I've had one dream since I was a child, to be the champion of the world, to bring honor and another championship to Mexico. But above all, I have a hunger and motivation to do that in front of my wife and son.
Stepping onto the scales, Davis looked like he'd settled into the lightweight division after fighting both lighter and heavier in the last year. Cruz, who stepped in to replace Rolando Romero a month out from the fight, looked good and healthy, but was clearly the smaller man. Davis certainly won the bout with more impressive stats across the board. But more impressive was Isaac's chin and will to keep fighting. Davis hit him so many times that he even injured himself.
When I was throwing my punches, it was hitting on the top of his head, so that's why my hand was hurting so bad. So I think that's why I didn't get the knockout, because he was shorter, and then, I ain't want to dip down to really low to his level, because I didn't want to get caught with, a strong shot, and, so I just, did what I did, I didn't want to hurt my hand too bad, but once I started catching him, I couldn't resist it.
The reason Davis needed to make a statement is because right now, the lightweight division is stacked with talent, and everyone is fighting for the #1 spot. But he's not the only lightweight who fell short of that mark over the weekend. The WBC champ Devin Haney decisioned Joseph Diaz Jr. in 12, in what was by no means a dominant performance. Haney clearly won the bout, but the champ was forced to survive some heavy hitting in the championship rounds, eating a barrage of power shots in the process. Seated ringside for both bouts was the man Davis and Haney want to face, the newly crowned unified champ George Kambosos Jr., and the champ might not have been impressed. Kambosos scored one of the biggest upsets of the year less than 2 weeks ago when he beat Teofimo Lopez by points. You can bet Lopez wants that rematch, and it would likely be the biggest money fight for the division right now. Then again, there's the wild card, boxing prodigy Vasily Lomachenko, and Loma will take on anyone if there's a title on offer, as will Davis, so long as it's not Isaac Cruz.
I can't explain it. It's crazy. How did I go from someone he didn't know at 135 pounds to someone he wants to avoid at all costs for a rematch? It's absolutely astounding.
I ain't turning down nothing. There's never been a time where somebody, my promoters, Leonard or Floyd came to me and said, "We want you to fight such and such," and I was like, "No, that's not a good idea." Or I'll. I fight whoever they put in front of me, So.
With all of the belts bar one around Kambosos' waist, he's the man who will likely dictate what happens next. But there's big fights on the horizon for the lightweight division, and they're all fantastic. Jake Paul will once again fight the former UFC welterweight champ Tyron Woodley because Tommy Fury has been forced to pull out of their bout due to injury.
For the Furies, it's an embarrassment. That they said, "Oh, we'll fight Jake with a broken rib. We'll fight Jake with a chest infection. We'll fight Jake with our arms tied behind our back. And then when it actually came to fighting me, they pulled out. So, you know, it sucks, but it is what it is.
I am absolutely heartbroken that I have been forced to withdraw from my fight with Jake Paul due to a bacterial chest infection and broken rib, explained Tommy. But Jake wasn't impressed. In response to the withdrawal, Paul was typically brash and didn't seem to believe a word Tommy said.
I don't like them. I don't like anything to do with the family. I think they're sketchy. I think they're shady. And I don't see really a reason to come back next year and give him that big of an opportunity and that big of a payday.
The show must go on, though. And now Woodley gets his chance at revenge after losing to Paul by decision back in August. It wasn't a particularly close fight, as Paul controlled most of the action from the outside. But T. Wood did nearly end it in the fourth with a right hand that Paul was lucky to avoid for the rest of the rounds. Woodley is the only opponent Jake has failed to knock out in his 3 pro fights, which seems to have given the YouTuber some extra motivation. The goal is going to be to knock him out, stated Paul. After that, I will be able to say I have knocked out every single person that I've fought. Gennady Golovkin will have to wait a little longer for his chance to become a 2-time unified middleweight champion. I am deeply disappointed that the fight in Japan has been postponed, but the health and safety of the public must always be the priority, tweeted Triple G. I look forward to returning to the ring against Ryota Murata as soon as possible. The news comes in response to new COVID restrictions that prohibit foreigners from visiting Japan. A new date is yet to be announced. And the women's undisputed junior middleweight champion Claressa Shields is vacating the titles in order to pursue undisputed status at middleweight. The 26-year-old holds 3 of the middleweight titles and is a win away from a bout with the WBO champ Savannah Marshall. With at least her next 2 fights being at middleweight and her desire for a simultaneous MMA career, T-Rex is relinquishing the junior middleweight belts so as to not hold up the division.
Thanks for watching. And remember, if you want more fight sports in your life, just hit the subscribe button.